Tukikekoikia deraga netana motumia nagirene derehe mkona makunia.
Hi guys, welcome to the wonderful world of Janice and Joyce podcast. I'm your spirited host Nyambudagari, and I'm delighted to be with you here. I hope you can see me clearly. Yeah. So, welcome to Janice and Joyce podcast. Welcome to my channel. I'm Nyambudagori. I've done this introduction so much. I sometimes even confused on how to introduce myself because I feel like by now most of you know me, right? And if you're new here, and I'm not so good in introductions as well. Okay, so if you're new here, welcome to Janice and Joyce podcast. This channel, we're all about becoming the best version of yourself. I'm just here to just give you quite insights, small insights and inspirations, and just to become the best version of yourself, to elevate yourself, and to keep your standards high. Just like Rona said, keep those standards high always. You don't know. Keep those standards high always, because if you keep them low, people will show you what low means, you know. So keep those standards high, and if that is what you're looking into, just to make your standards high, just to become the best version of yourself, just to elevate yourself, to become a high value woman, this is the channel for you. Yay! We're growing together here, and if you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly I need your support to reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers this year. So please subscribe to this channel, and I really appreciate you. I really appreciate your support, guys. And I usually post this episode every Thursday. Every Thursday at 7 p.m. I have a new episode on YouTube and all your podcast platforms that you listen to your podcast from. So I'm Nyambudagari. You can check me out on Instagram, Nyambudagari, on TikTok, and on Facebook, and where else? Everywhere. Nyambudagari, Janice and Joyce podcast. Yeah. So this is season 3, episode 4. Guys, we are growing. Oh, just look at my confidence right now. Imagine, we are growing every day. I'm becoming better every day. I remember when I began, I wasn't like this, but now we are here, and I'm super excited. Keep those standards high always. I haven't been consistent because I moved. Yes, guys, I've been so busy with my life. I moved to a better, bigger space. So bigger space that I can have my office set up in a very, that is why actually, by the way, you guys, I don't have any decor yet for the background, just look cute. I have this katani flower, yes, but Poly. A win is a win. At least we have a bigger space for the office where I can do my office work and do my other things, and also live in the same place, you know. We are utilizing this space as much as possible. So I will show you the progress step by step. Now I'm just you've seen this meme that goes like, you move and then you you go and sleep on the floor or sit on the floor. I'm literally sitting on the floor as we speak right now, but trusting the process. Now when you come to this space, it's all echo, everything is everywhere. I've not known how to put the place together as I want it, because like I told you, when I told you about my decluttering the closet, I told you, as I am getting new things for the closet for myself, I'm getting things that I am intentional about, things that I'm sure that I'm going to use regularly, at least, or just something that I don't have to say, no, I can't do this, no, anything, things that I love. So I shop nowadays. I shop intentionally. I just don't go and bulk buy, or what is it called? Yeah, no. So this I'm using the same technique on decorating my new space and making it more homely, making it more warm, you know, for myself and my friends and my guests, and mostly for myself, you know. We want to live, I talk about romanticizing your life, right? So this is the beginning of a new adventure. This is the beginning of new things happening in my life, and I'm super proud of myself. A win is a win, and although we are sitting on the floor right now, a win is a win. We are in a bigger space, a space that now it is manageable, you know. yeah, so that is the winner. That is what has been keeping me so busy, and I'm doing it all by myself. So you can imagine how busy I've been. And yeah, and I don't know why when we move, when somebody, I don't know if it has happened to you guys or it is only me, when you move you become instantly broke. Imagine when I moved to this new space, shopping, hey, I had to go shopping one by one. So I have been, that is what has been going on the past few weeks. That is why I have been quite inconsistent. Also, you watched the news, what is happening in our country. We are really, we are those people, you Gen Zs. We are those people. We are who we think we are. You know, we are who we think we are. And I'm an older Gen Z anyway. I'm the first generation of them. Musinilete. I am who I think I am. Nah, right? So Gen Z's power, comrade power, and I'm proud that we are still fighting for this nation. Let's continue, but being safe, okay? But do it be in a safe way, not in a. We've lost so many lives, RIP to those lives, but be safe. And this, as much as it has been happening, all that, a lot has been happening. I lost my bishop. You guys, Bishop Alan Kiuna. Imagine, I lost my bishop. It was a very emotional weekend for me last week when he died, because I didn't know him personally, but I know the wife. She's a powerhouse. I'm telling you, she's a powerhouse. She's a woman of God. She changed my life in a very big way. She has really impacted my life, not just recently. It's just that recently that the impact has been huge, but she has been impacting my life ever since I was a little girl, when I used to watch her on TV on Woman Without Limits, and oh my god, Reverend Kathy Kiuna. And I've been praying for her. It is so hard. I know it. I don't know. I just imagine. I feel it in my skin. I feel it in my bones how she felt, because they really loved each other. Oh, since the day back, imagine, since the day I started watching them on TV, and up to now, I'm a member of their church. I'm a member of their community, and I feel like I am one of them. You know, I don't know how it feels to lose a close person to you, but I am full of empath. I know I'm an empathetic person, because I literally feel. Oh my god, if you've been seeing my stories, I've been posting the bishop until he was laid to rest on Wednesday, and it was a hard time, and I'm just giving the family in prayers. And anyway, he fought a good fight. He was a God soldier, and he was promoted to glory. And death is cruel. Death is so cruel, and we can just hope the family, God comforts them and God gives them strength. So you can see it has been, that's all I can say about it. And anyway, so you can see it has been quite a journey. And anyway, time is really moving. Okay, and as I say, time is moving. I remind myself every time, you're not turning 30. You're not turning 30. I don't know what 30 did to young people, especially if you're above 25 years. I don't know what 30 did to us, because you're so afraid of getting to 30 years. Is it afraid? Is it anxiety? Or what is it exactly? I am anxious myself about getting to 30. But now we are already second half of the year. At least a win is a win. Okay, if you've not subscribe to help me get to my goal of 1,000 subscribers this year, and I will really appreciate it. I will really appreciate your support so much, guys. Okay, so today's episode, I want to talk about myself in a raw way, and the things that I struggle with that I feel like relate to most of us, and it does. I feel like most ladies were relating to this. First of all, that anxiety, being anxious and fearful. I know I talk about being able to manage your emotions and control your emotions. I know it is a skill that most of us need to learn, and I'm so thankful to God that He has really brought me to this place in my life where I can be able to talk about my emotions in a more open way and in a more raw way. Being that I was a fearful, avoidant type of person, you know, the kind of emotions. I was a fearful avoidant. Yes, the best is to be secure, emotional, but I was a fearful avoidant. Kind of, I had that kind of attachment style where you're afraid to be open about your emotions, you know, and still at the same time you're anxious about this other person showing their emotions to you. In a way, let me give in a way over for example, for a romantic partner. In all the partnerships, in all the situationships I've ever been, because all mine were situationships, I wouldn't say I was in any relationship. Those were not relationships, because I was a charity work. What was that? Oh God, that was not a relationship. Those were not relationships. Everything that I've ever been in my past, before my 25 years, was all situationships. So in all my situationships, or even friendships, but friendships are more, I'm quite raw about them, but more about situationships. In more of my situationships, I was more of a fearful avoidant. You know, fearful avoidant being, I'm afraid to tell this person about how I feel about them. And when they tell me about how they feel about me, I start being afraid of saying, in my heart or in my head, I start telling myself, this person might leave me anytime. This person might leave me anytime. And still at the same time, I'm afraid to show my emotions to them. That is hence the title I gave myself, the title I had given myself, Taliban. You remember I was talking about that some other time in another episode. I don't remember which one. I was talking about being Taliban, because you're afraid, you know, when you want something. Now I am on my way to being a secured attachment, secured type of a person attachment style. That is at least I would say I'm on my way there, because nowadays things that used to scare me don't scare me as much as before. Imagine you're in love with someone, you want someone with everything with every fiber of your body, but you are afraid to tell this person. And you can see this person wants you as well. Or you don't even know where you're standing with this person. You're just out there smashing and spending time with them and talking to them all the time. And you don't even have the balls to ask what you're doing there. It is good to know what you're doing there. You know, these people who like telling you, Ati, you've already met like 2 times, and then you're asking, who are we? Let me tell you, it's better to know who you are. It is better to know where you're standing with this person before you waste your time for so long. And that was me for so long. I've wasted my time with so many people without knowing the title that I have with this, even knowing the kind of situation that you're at with this person. You know, and that is why you come up saying, I am in a situationship, we are friends with benefit, we are this and this. That is not what high girls do. High girls with high standards, they know what they are doing in that place. Never ever. Oh my goodness. If you're in that situation right now where you don't know, you're not emotionally secured, try and know yourself to know how to to be an emotionally secure person. Because first of all, as women, let's not lie to each other. Most of us, we operate with emotions, at least most of the time. And when dealing with other people, women deal with emotions more. So you're dealing with another person and you're hiding those emotions. And when you're hiding those emotions, the other person doesn't even know how to treat you, first of all. That is why you become jealous. That is why you become a drama person. Not drama per se, but I would say those kind of stupid jealousies. Yes, I know we don't like, I know you would, most people don't like sharing their people or their personal persons, but for you to get to that point of when you even have a person and you're not the person who is always, where are you? What are you doing? You've not, you know? So to avoid those kind of things, and when you see your partner or whoever you're with just talking to other people, you're not automatically starting to overthink. You feel you need to get into that state of being emotionally secure. So I was telling you about myself. So I was this anxious and this fearful avoidant. Fearful avoidant, when I say fearful avoidant, I mean I would avoid any form of emotions. Imagine I would avoid any form of emotional talk. And it's because of how I was raised. Let me tell you guys, you know me, I was raised in a setup where my mom is completely absent. My dad is completely absent out of my life. So I'm just me, and I'm raised with a couple of family members, this side, this side, this side, this side, you know. So with this type of upbringing, it was quite difficult. I would say it was quite difficult, but it's very difficult also to show emotions, because when you're living with relatives, and my mom herself is not a person to show you any kind of emotions. She's just those, I don't know if baby boomers or those. I think she was a Mau fighter or something. I think she was a Mau. That is why by then I'm so intentional nowadays. Since I began this journey of mine, that is why I'm so intentional about being emotional about everything. You know, when you don't like something, say it. That is why I come here and say it. When you're elevating yourself and when you're becoming the best version of yourself, you have to learn yourself first from the inside, you know, from the inside. So because when you don't know what you want, literally, you get titles, you get pet things, people wanakuskumililia vitu, because they don't know what you want. You know, and because you yourself, you don't know what you want. And when you know what you want, you know how to choose and know what to say no to. You know, so this is how I was most of my upbringing. But I thank God I got a very good friend who is very in touch with her emotions, and also the support group that I was telling you. You see, this lady, this pastor of ours, this Reverend Kathy Kiuna, she has a Daughters of Zion kind of meeting where we meet every last Saturday of the month, ladies. So that is where you also get to learn more about yourself and more about how to control and to talk about your emotions. And when I talking about emotions and talking about how you feel and what to say, I don't mean like you become so raw. You have to also, sometimes you have to read the room. You know, sometimes you have to get there and know to see how things are, to see how people are behaving, to see how people are. And also these things, by the way, they also need you to pray for yourself. You know, to pray to God. You pray for yourself, because these things, like I've told you, for myself, me, the way I was brought up, you've had my mom. Oh my goodness, I've been digressing a lot. Let me go back to my mother. No, let me go back to my upbringing, not my mother. Let me go back to my upbringing. So you see how I was raised I was raised everywhere. I would say I was raised everywhere. So when you go to this household, you find the emotions are this way. When you go to this household, you find the emotions are this way. When you go to this, and also because this household of my relatives, they also have children, so you get to bond differently with different siblings, with different cousins, with different children of these different households, and you end up accommodating other people more, because you see, now when you're living with other people, you have to be humble, because any day you can be homeless, you know, literally any day you can be homeless. So you have to be humble every single time. You have to follow the rules every single time. And my mom is also the same. With her, you have to be, she raised us. I don't know if it's only me, because anyway, you're raised in an environment where you're always bottling up emotions. You're always living in like a cocoon, you know. So you're not left to express yourself in any form or in any way. And being an African, I feel like most of us, or I feel like most of us were raised in a more modest way, if I must say, in a more modest way, unlike in the Western world. So this is exactly how it was, and when I grew up, that is exactly how I became. So I didn't know how to handle people. I just knew I'm going with the flow. There's nothing like going with the flow. What is going with the flow? Never ever. A wise woman, a lady who has her standards, doesn't go with the pace. She sets her pace. She sets the flow. She says, you other people should listen to you. You shouldn't be listening to other people. Right? And that is where most of us ladies, we get lost at, because we fail to learn our emotional attachment style. We fail to learn ourselves. We fail to learn what we love and what we don't love, because we want to be taken with the flow, how our friends are going, how our partners are going, how our family, what will other people think, who is other people, you know. That is the question now I began asking myself with that as time went by. And this is where I usually say also, you should isolate yourself so that you can be able to learn more about yourself. And that is what happened to me. Like I say, always keep your standards high. Let me tell you one thing that really, really lowers your standards as a woman. drinking alcohol. I know this is not a topic that we mostly want to talk about, and it's not something that we want to touch on, because anyway, you're all adults. Alcohol is sold to anybody over 18 years, and you're also buying it with your own money. But we must call a spade, and we must say the reality. Alcohol is fucking us up. Women, especially women. Our our bodies are not like men's bodies, so our tolerance level is quite low, especially if you're not I don't especially, I feel like they say women are very, not, it is all women, we have very low tolerance towards alcohol. So when you take too much, especially these spirits and this heavy alcohol, the shots, the tequila, you know, you watch the whiskeys and whatnot, you know, you mentioned them, we become extra. I messed up, for me, for example, I messed up a lot of relationships because of alcohol. I messed up myself. I embarrassed. Do you know embarrassing? Do you know embarrassing, you guys? Embarrassing yourself. I literally embarrassed myself so bad while in my drinking days. Nowadays I don't drink. I only take wine. Wine is good for your health, for your heart, and for your digestive system. No. No, I'm not here to teach you anything about wine or to talk about wine. No. Yani, I'm trying to say what alcohol does to a woman. First of all, it makes you do stupid things. Stupid things that really lower your standards. You know, I really lowered my standards when I was taking alcohol. A lot. I cry for the girl I was when I was drinking those hard liquors. Hard liquor is not for women, honestly. And that is one thing that as women, we're not ready to have that conversation. As long as you're going every weekend out, as long as you're partying every weekend, that's on you. You can do whatever you want. Yeah, that's on you. I agree. But also, you should check on the choices that you're making while at it, because it, first of all, it really hypes up as our emotional side. Your emotional, that is why you become more violent. That is emotional. That is why you become more you simp. You ask me about that. I embarrassed myself, you guys. If I show you how much I embarrassed myself, thank God, God really delivered me. You see, and I didn't go to a church at Nikekele Mikono. You see, when you hear about salvation, when you hear about God, when you hear about Jesus saving people, He really did. I remember, let me tell you, let me digress for a minute. I remember there's this one time I really embarrassed myself. You guys. I went, that day I went to my cousin's house. I went to her house. She was, I don't know what she was doing, but she was listening to some gospel music. Let me tell you guys, when I got there, she gave me tea, a cup of tea. And she told me I'm going downstairs to see someone to collect something. I think she had asked for a delivery. And then I'm coming in around 30 minutes. Let me tell you guys, when she left me in her house, she has that big mirror that big mirror. You know, the big mirror for the living room where you use it as a decoration. I knelt before that mirror, guys. Let me tell you, I cried to God. I never knew people would pray in the spirit, you guys. You know, I used to hear stories, people saying, oh, I'm praying in the spirit, I'm praying in the spirit, I'm praying in the spirit. That is the day I knew I could pray in the spirit. I really prayed to God. I asked God for forgiveness because I was really hurting inside, because I couldn't believe I embarrassed myself that much just because of alcohol. I really lowered myself, my standards. Oh my God, I cry for that girl. I really lowered my standards just because of things of this world. Imagine. Oh God, I thank God for salvation, you guys. I thank God for salvation. That was one of my lowest times during my drinking days. God, you don't know. I don't know if you women, if you ladies have felt or have ever experienced that, or are experiencing that, where you know you're better than this. You know you are a better person than this, but then you find that you behaved in a certain way that really doesn't resonate with you, that is not you, just because of because you used a substance and it influenced your mind, it influenced your thinking capacity, it influenced who you are. You know, I don't know if you guys can understand what I'm saying, but you can imagine So that is the level I'm trying to pull you out, to tell you to pull yourself out of, because that level makes you literally have low self-esteem. Literally, if you imagine, it makes you have very low self-esteem and very poor self-image about yourself. And when you do that, you carry yourself like that. When you have very poor self-image about yourself, you carry yourself with poor image, you carry yourself with low self-esteem, you carry yourself as a loser, because in your mind, and remember, this is someone, I'm telling you about someone who had difficulties in her childhood with her self-image, because she was always chosen last, because you see, she was brought up in different families. So those different families, they definitely choose their own first, not in a bad way, but that is just how human beings are in a natural way, right? But they did, so she was always chosen last. So unconsciously, she knows she's last, and then she comes and takes in alcohol, and it sabotages her mentality, her own self, and she eventually treats herself like this. That is a pattern. That is a pattern. And for me, I usually tell you guys, please understand your family patterns, understand your family patterns, understand your family patterns, because they'll help you pull yourself out, and it will help you even know how to pray for yourself. Like, let me digress and go back to that point when I was telling you I was praying. A long time ago, never knew that praying and crying, and when you start praying and tears come out of your eyes, it's not you, it's something uncontrollable. That day when I was praying, I was begging God, I was crying my eyes out, and I was begging God to remove me in that situation that had caused me so much pain. Because I didn't know, I knew when I was getting myself into that situation, and now the alcohol was the catalyst, it was making me, and funny thing about alcohol, it's like the devil, I don't know, it makes you stagnate in that area, that situation that you have really disrespected yourself in, and you continue feeling sorry for yourself, feeling sorry. So that is the situation I was at. So when I was coming here to beg God to really save me, to really get me out of that situation, I hadn't realized about my family patterns at that particular time. So at that particular time when I prayed to God, that is when He opened my eyes, and that is when I started looking back to how I had been in other situationships, how I had been in my childhood, what things had hurt me, what things had made me feel hurt, what things had made me feel less of a person, what things had really, and you get to see them, and you see, you're like, that is why I behaved in a certain way, because when I was a child, I felt this way. This is a familiar feeling, studying your patterns. Exactly, studying your patterns. This is a familiar feeling. I've always felt like this. I've always felt like a loser. I've always felt like the last person. I've always felt like I'm not good enough. And these are things that I'm not only the person who used to struggle with them. I know there's so many people who struggle with them, and that is why we are not able to live into our full potential, because that is when you find us telling yourself, and this one other person is better than I am. Who is better than you? You're better than you. Nobody is better than you are, babe. That is why you find yourself in that, and those patterns, because they are things that we learned from our childhood. When you grow up, you don't automatically just let go of those things. Imagine. So it takes grace, it takes salvation, it takes constant prayer. Oh my goodness, it takes constant prayer. Me, I prayed, I fasted for myself, I fasted for my salvation, I fasted to be removed in that state. And the state of always thinking that I am dragging behind, the state of always thinking that, someone else is better than I am, someone else is greater than I am, and these are things that women really struggle with them. And that is why you find that ladies are envious of each other or of other people. That is why we find that some ladies, if you say, uninyoka, because they did. And also, if you're not careful enough, these are things that you take into your into relationships that you call marriage and long-term relationships, and you find that you've made a mistake that you can't rectify when you've already have kids. So these are things that you need to learn. By the time you're making some life decisions, at least you're more informed. You're informed about your patterns, you're informed about your family background, you're informed about how you were raised. It's not only that you say, oh, I survived, so what? You survived, now you're here. So how are you going to rectify those things so that they cannot affect you as a grown-up, as a human being? These are the kind of questions that we need to ask ourselves. And this is what exactly I did. I asked myself these questions. Do I want to live in that constant, fearful, anxious, avoidant way? Because I want I want to have my emotions up here. I want you to know what I want. I want to communicate, and you cannot communicate to other people if it is impossible to communicate to yourself. Right? So these are the kind of patterns that I usually I usually think about when I reflect on my life, or the reflection. And so that day I was telling you about the prayer. I prayed to God. I prayed God to restore me. Guys, God restored me. Oh my God, He restored my heart. He restored my. I don't know if it was my heart, because you see, it is something that I wanted to say. I don't know if it's my heart, but it is my heart, because this is something that you have done to yourself. The constant embarrassing of yourself, constantly. It was constantly. I can't lie to you guys. It was constant, because how do you keep on every time you're repeating the same thing, you're repeating the same thing, you're repeating the same thing? That is not normal. There's something that is really going on, and you have to pray and fast. And fasting, and also I wanted to say fasting. And fasting, you guys, really helps. Really helps. Because this battle of family patterns, these battles of how to break the chains of being mediocre, or being the same all the time, of living in constant fear, is something that was transferred to us by our guardians, our people who raised us, our parents. Because our parents are people. I'm not saying that fear is bad, but it's also not good. Sometimes it's good to be afraid to save your life, not to be, but not when you're afraid, you don't know what is on the other side. So this is something that you need to fight, and it is something that you need to fight in the spirit, and it's something that you need to fight in the physical, and to be very consistent about it. Because anyway, like I told you, we have goals, and we want to be better people at the end of the day, and we want to live in a better world. And you are who you are, you reflect it to the world that you're living in, and that is exactly how the reflection of who you are is the same with what you're getting out of the world, out of the universe. And when I was in that constant state of alcoholism, I keep ladies, I wish we could just view things in this way, all of us. But anyway, however you view your things is okay. And when I was in that constant state of alcoholism, I would attract. Let me tell you, I don't know why when you're in a shitty place, you attract shitty people. You attract people who just want to mess you up, just want to make you lose focus. You just, and it's better to be in an isolated place where at least you're thinking about yourself, you're thinking about your future, and instead of being in a place where you're constantly in fear, or in constant anxiety, because you'll be depressed. Being in constant anxiety. Goodness, I honestly I hope and I wish love and peace and healing towards everybody and every one of us. And I just pray that you can learn your patterns, that because the life we're living today is a reflection of how we were yesterday. And if you're constantly in a fearful state, in an anxious state, woe unto you, because you'll always feel distressed and like a loser, honestly. And that is not living. That is not living. And with the death of our bishop, of the bishop of JCC, Jubilee Christian Church, I can say death is really unpredictable, and with all the when everybody was talking about the bishop, everybody from all over the world, when they were sending their condolences and their messages to our Reverend Kathy Kiuna, you could just tell he was an intelligent man. and he was a man who really loved and cared about people. And anyway, you know, we want to care about people, we want to love people, because people love you right back. When you love people, they love you right back. When you're he was an openly emotional, he was very in touch with his emotional side as a man. Imagine, he was oh god, it's so sad. He was openly emotionally in touch with, he was openly emotionally in touch with himself, you know. And oh, that is so sweet, honestly, you guys. And oh my goodness, yeah. So we think about what you think about that, guys. And please, uh I'm in a very peaceful place right now. I'm in a place where I am glowing, I am growing, I am becoming better, I am making more informed choices and decisions. And yeah, we have our, I do have my those days that, but we are here regardless. And I love you guys so much. I love you for your support. I love you for tuning in this channel. And please, 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 let's grow together. Check into your patterns and outgrow from them to live a more happier, I would say happier life in a more peaceful way, a more healed, peaceful lifestyle. Okay, right? Okay, so guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you next week. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye bye.